So today I just want to talk about agriculture and actually developing your own culture in a new way instead of a synthetic type way that's actually really natural. So you can build a better space for yourself and, you know what I'm saying, based upon kinship and like having a better environment, and it just gonna add on into each other, and then it makes it easier for you to have other people in your space who also are like-minded individuals, to where things can come off more genuine than from synthetic concepts and things you feel like are actually important that are not important, and actually get into like the root of your actual own individuality and what you actually want to have based upon your own purpose and things of that nature. It's always gonna add on onto itself, to where you'll be too busy doing that instead of focusing on synthetic things to make you feel like the world, well, like the world overall, make you feel like that's actually more important, or that would matter. But you just helping some other people bloodline and other people lifestyle way of living, when you can have your own way of going about it, and then you won't sit there and have that crush type of mentality to where you always have to be stressing about bills or goddamn you know what I'm saying, like things that like are thrown externally based upon like the news and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna add on to it, but I'm gonna break that down today. So boom, like agriculture in a nutshell is basically like having a cultivation of large areas of land to provide food and things of that nature. So I'm gonna explain this from like an esoteric concept, and I already have previous videos talking about, you know, like the fire, water, air, earth concepts. The fire being you seeing and feeling a certain vision or reality, aka you having your own individual outlook based upon your own personal expression and asserting that, and seeing that vision through, and then start becoming that water. So you actually have that emotion and feeling that you are internalizing, aka you could look at that as like a dream and imagination that you actually want to bring in the forefront, and then it's going to turn into the air, the atmosphere, or like the social awareness, and you sitting there trying to rationalize it based upon your own thoughts, ideas, communication, and articulation, and then that's like manifesting men, masculine, feminine, and stuff like that. So give and take, light and darkness. So you actually bringing that to the light and actually materializing in real time, and actually you know what I'm saying, like becoming true or becoming physical, or like esoteric magic, or like, you know, speaking something into existence, or like it actually becoming a real thing based upon the tools that you have currently, and actually utilizing these things. And this is based upon planting good seeds concept, and things of that nature. It's kind of like a thing you do within the mind, and you planted that good seed, nourishment, having good value behind it, self-esteem, and what you want to offer to the world, and you know what I'm saying, actually fertilizing that seed and making sure it grows the right way, all the way down to like how people be like when it comes to gardening and things of that nature, and them growing their own plants, and based upon the temperament, aka the climate change, or the season, or the you know what I'm saying, like the harvesting and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying, different times during the year and things of that nature. How from the springtime, the bees and everything blooming, and then to the summertime, to where everything flourishing, and you giving life to a whole bunch of new fruit, and then about to make it fall time, that's like harvest season, and then you have enough food for the winter, to where you have that hibernation, everyone is being fed. But it's like a thing you create in the mind based upon thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. So you have to sit there and actually think to yourself, okay, what am I trying to do for the long haul to actually have that longevity when it comes to the seed? And then you can sit there and look at that kind of like a certain purpose, or some type of passion, or something that's making you feel inspired, or like, you know what I'm saying, something you actually want to do and cultivate for yourself and things of that nature. So you have to think about that consistency and actually showing up and actually sitting there, like, you know what I'm saying, like, where do I see myself in the next 5 years type of concept and things of that nature. And you sitting there like you writing shit down, you journaling, you like actually keep on trying to make this dream and imagination come true in your own creative way and things of that nature. So you need to have that actual fuel and passion and inspiration to actually do it in the first place, to keep up that consistency. And then it's always going to be based upon temperament. That's like kind of like when niggas be talking about climate change and things of that nature. So a good example is kind of like music. Things come in trends and waves, and then if you sit there, you trying to sound like Drake from 2009, but we not in 2009 and things of that nature, and you try to do that in 2025, it's not really going to hit the same in the same way, because we're in a whole different climate. You have to, like, it's not saying you can't be inspired and things of that nature, or like do it in like a adjacent type way, but you have to do it in a new type of way, not the same exact way how it was back then in the blog era, when currently we in a whole different market, whole different streaming era and things of that nature, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just using that as an example, so you understand the climate and the temperament, so you actually have a better quality of the fruit you actually bearing. So that's like planting good seeds from whatever thing you're trying to materialize and manifest, and actually, I mean, manifest and then materialize, and then actually making that thing an actual reality based upon that fire, water, air, earth concept and things of that nature. So the main point is to not let these things get polluted, and actually having the same type of resources and things of that nature. So from you going through the highs and lows, aka a lot of high and low frequency vibrations and things of that nature. So just experiences overall, based upon the timeline, a lot of events and stuff like that, right? From you cultivating whatever you trying to do in the first place, and cultivate your own culture. That's why niggas be having like cult followers and things of that nature. You can look at that as like, okay, eventually you're gonna get haters, aka not everyone gonna fuck with the way you going about shit and like the way you doing things. But that's like a free resource and stuff like that, because it's the same way how people be like, regardless of the like publicity, good or bad publicity, still publicity. So it's people giving you their attention, and then whatever like you give matter to and you paying attention to, you actually gonna make that come, like, you know what I'm saying, like you only gonna experience in your environment based upon what you're paying attention to, and then it's actually gonna come from your first body, aka your mind, into your second body, aka like your actual body right now, and it's gonna come into like some type of sense or pleasure that you can physically actually experience and things of that nature. So it's like that's like this giving someone free energy. So regardless if someone was on something like, oh, we gotta cancel this person, or like it's something based upon hate instead of love and appreciation and things of that nature, that's still free energy. It's just about how you transmute and transform that situation, and you turn that into a positive, or use that as like a spiritual trampoline to, like, jump higher into that state of being, and like look at it in a lighter dense instead of a lower dense. The lower dense would be like, oh, you letting all this backlash or controversy, or like you being polarizing, basically control how you going about something, even though that's you being your most pure state of being. So it's the same. So it's like all that combined, but you can just capitalize on the situation instead of sitting there worrying about what everyone else think, because you're doing it from your pure state of being, things of that nature. And if niggas ain't trying to actually give constructive criticism to actually bear better fruit, even though you being an individual, your authentic self, and things of that nature. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can just transmute the energy and then turn that into a positive or some type of neutral type of energy, to where it's like, okay, you did your thing, okay, you got on my ass, and I'll let you do your thing. This just gives another opportunity for us to work together again, or we go separate ways. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's all about having that back pocket energy, aka having multiple ways to show your individuality for whatever you're trying to cultivate, and then not get stuck in one pocket, aka get steady and dry, and things of that nature. So that's kind of like, if this was like a music artist or something like that, okay, the way how you blew up for a certain song and style and sound and stuff like that, that was cool during your debut album and shit like that. But it's a couple years later, and you in your third album and shit like that, it's not going to hit the same if you keep on doing the same thing over and over. You can do the same type of thing, because that's the main core of why people fuck with you in the first place. But you can't sit there and keep doing the same exact thing over and over, because it's not going to play out the same exact way, because we still experiencing living life and things of that nature. And eventually niggas going to get tired and bored from you doing the same thing over and over. And then after a while, you're going to get too good at that thing. And then even to you, you're going to feel stagnant and stuck, because you're like, damn, I kind of already did this already. Damn, I already kind of got inspired, and you know what I'm saying? Like, capitalize this to the fullest extent, aka you can look at that as like expanding, contracting as a spirit. And you already done expanded far enough, like the bandwidth of how far you can go with that thing. So it's kind of like, if you want to expand even further, you have to do something else. Otherwise, that contract expansion, aka that next wave of whatever you're doing next, is gonna have an even bigger outcome than what it was before. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a better result. You always have to pay attention to the result after the fact, and then you can sit there and like recuperate of like, okay, how am I going to keep cultivating and doing this thing again, so I can have that consistency, long call, and maintain what I'm doing, and still maintain that core at the same time, and do something that's new and refreshing, instead of getting stuck in one pocket and it's just dry, just stagnant. It's just, you fell off. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fell off type of energy.